weight of a kindly god is a fearful thing. Do you understand, Wally? Our god gave us the burning eyes of Allat and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Rest in black shade. Bila kayfa. When we began our wandering, we suffered until suffering was a thing we came to know within our souls. Arrakis is suffering. When we found it, we were home. We were made to suffer. Our children taken and made slaves. They denied us the Hajj. Never to forgive, never to forget. The weight of a kindly god is a fearful thing. Did not God give us the burning sun to defy? Suffering leads to defiance. And where does defiance lead? Ibn Qutayba, defiance leads to thought. Who is it that thinks? Those who suffer. Remember Harmon Bila Kaifa. Ibn Qutayba, defiance leads to thought. Who is it that thinks? Those who suffer. Remember Harmontep, Bila Kaifa.
Your signal drifted for a moment. No matter. A thought occurs. When the Sardaukar began their purge, many Fremen were slaughtered. The ones that were not abandoned their caves, leaving valuable resources behind. Valuable resources that just might contain the makings of a steel suit. Take what you need. Their ghosts will not object. Just remember, if you didn't connect the tubes between the caths and the thigh pads just right, you'll be drinking your own liquefied feces. And that does not count as hydration, by the way. I have good news, Off-Worlder. My leg has recovered enough that I will risk it to move forward. I know a place in your sector where we can meet. Craft a survey device so you can figure out how to get there and join me. Very good. I'm going to the Griffin's Reach trade post. Come and find me there. Just remember to be careful crossing the sands. Move from rocky ground to rocky ground. Learn how far you can move on sand before the worm comes. And remember, look both ways before you cross the desert. Alas, Off-Worlder, it seems my fame precedes me even here, at the arse end of the Haga Basin. Your Emperor's lackey, Count Fenring, has put an obscene bounty on my head. And while I'm flattered to be his great boogeyman, The added attention is making life complicated. Take a look around. There's a contract on the board that might interest you. But be careful. Civilized men are not to be trusted. Off-worlder, that Arrakis is a planet of unique opportunity. No former prisoner would ever have access to the military technology of the great houses. But with the war, chaos reigns. Ships crash and are shot down, sometimes spilling military-grade materials onto the sands. The Fremen know the ways of the desert and how to do a lot with very little. The Imperium, on the other hand, have infinite resources and the production capacity of countless worlds. Plunder them, off-worlder. There is a shipwreck near here. Slip inside and claim your share of the spoils.
This is Ensign Meredith commanding Alcyon. Lieutenant Likers is down. The convoy is under sustained attack. They knew where we'd be. We've lost contact with the group leader, Kytheria.
My God! Look at them all! It's Horizon to Horizon jet fighters out there!
Relay that chatter! We have sustained several direct hits, and we're losing Trim badly. We're going to try to set her down. Our emergency transponder is active. Godspeed, everyone.
Off-worlder, and I still haven't shaken. I'm afraid I must delay our reunion until... well, I fear drastic measures might be required. But fear not, off-worlder. You've come this far alone. I'm impressed. You're a long way from that mewling mauler I dragged from the wreckage of the Proteus. Listen, you'll need a vehicle to cross the sands to the Paranorth and reach the gap. But vehicles require components that aren't created here on Arrakis. Arrakis has a long history, off-worlder, more than you might imagine. Some things, like the Imperial testing stations, contain echoes of the past, but more importantly, they contain stockpiles of components you'll need. Just be careful. Those old ruins are a beacon for all kinds of scum.
A large sandstorm is approaching.
That's it, off-worlder. You're ready. I'm waiting at Mirzabar. That's the great rock formation that looks like a giant hammer. Be careful. Vehicles are fast, but nothing can outrun Shai Hulud. You can only hope to get between safe areas more quickly. I'll see you soon.
Watch your step, stranger. Those plants are hard to grow out here, and harder to replace. Now, you don't look like the scrap rats that swarm around the place, and you don't look like one of the crazies from the lab. So what brings you here? The Fremen? Kynes mentioned them to me in a letter. I was looking forward to meeting them, but by the time I got to Arrakis, they had been wiped out. Derek Chinara, planetologist, botanist, and political exile, I'm afraid. I've been stuck out here for a while. I learned the hard way. Never say the wrong thing to someone from Kytane. Cyprian Io. I loathe that name. barely a planetologist at all. To think of the legacy of the kinds in the hands of this fop makes me sick. I would gladly teach you, but there is something I must do. Perhaps we can help each other out. You look like something that stumbled out of a shipwreck. I don't have any way to pay, unless you're interested in a planetary ecology lesson. That's easy. Somewhere in the station is a manifest containing a full log of the supplies that were sealed within. Bring me the manifest. Be careful. The people in that lab are odd. I hadn't gone very far into the lab when some of them charged at me, screaming and brandishing knives. They were covered in gore. There was a glaze to their eyes and a stiffness to their movements, but they looked normal enough. Maybe some form of mass hysteria. I don't know. You have? That's incredible. I thought those crazies down there would keep me stuck here forever. Oh, wonderful. Say what you will about the old empire, but they knew how to keep a record. Yes, of course, I haven't forgotten. Pay attention. Life, all life, is in the service of life. There. Though I must confess, I wasn't expecting such an apt pupil. It was more like you were remembering than learning. Odd. Watch your step, stranger.
You keep coming back like this, I'll have to stop calling you stranger. Stranger? Indeed. I hope you have more brains than the last courier I hired. Idiot tried to cross the desert on foot, without a sand bike.
No, not lost, sir. She's dead.
Tragic. Truly tragic. But they say the desert calls the weak.
My God, man, she was one of yours. Cousin, even.
I am in deep mourning, sir. Rumors of disloyalty buzzed around her like blowflies, but now, who's to say? Certainly not her.
My one pleasure in this hell is knowing that you're trapped here with me.
A momentary setback, I assure you.
Even your Harkonnen masters find you insufferable, Maxim. You're down here forever.
Tell me, dear Anton, what's it like being the handkerchief your superiors use to wipe the gore off Shining Atreides' honor?
Let's settle this.
Gladly.
By the laws of Canley.
By the laws of Canley.
By the laws of Canley.
Someone new. Are you, by chance, looking for banter or legal advice? You may call me Amadi Ikeni. I serve the interests of House Tseda on Arrakis. I, myself, am from the minor house of Ikeni. We are a Tseda House minor, and a very specialized one at that. House Ikeni acts as the sole legal representatives of the Tsedan royal family. We specialize in imperial law as it pertains to the governing of houses and the conduct of nobility. We defend the Tsedan name. In a chaotic universe of so many winding pathways, focus is truly a blessing. Is there anything else you'd like to know about me? The Anvil is a unique melting pot where enemies gather together. Certain inquiries I'm looking into on behalf of my house keep me here. And what a fine place to offer legal advice, where even the most aggrieved parties not only share the same room, but must remain civil. In particular, there are a pair of Atreides and Harkonnen officers who daily argue with each other over the finer points of Canley law.
Do you aspire to contribute to something bigger than yourself? Care to join the right side of this war?
What you just witnessed was the product of 10 centuries of bad blood between House Atreides and House Harkonnen.
You're not wrong. That is the product of several years of bile between I and my loathsome counterpart over there. The laws of Canley prevent either of us from doing what our knives are so eager to do.
In accordance with the Great Convention, Canley is enactment of a formal feud. Its rules keep conflicts between the great houses more civilized. I am Anton Tolliver. I serve proudly as a soldier for House Atreides. However, my superiors deem me useful for more subtle operations. My house seeks assets in this wretched war of assassins. I prefer open conflict, but my Duke needs me here. It would be an honor to serve with you. However, trust must still be built. I have a task. Complete it, and we can discuss our future association.
One of our undercover agents went missing. I fear Maxim is on to him. Bring me him or information on what became of him. Find the agent. Details are in this contract.
Another innocent traveler, like every other scoundrel here. Got my eye on you, stranger. Don't test me. Friendly banter ain't worth the spit it costs in the gap. Get tough or get dead. Sooner you learn that, the later you'll croak. And I was hoping to retire 10 years ago. Name's Tig. I run this LO. Any other burning questions? It was always nice and quiet around here, back when the Fremen were at Mirzabah. Nobody dared come near. Then the Sardaukar ruined everything. The pogrom that gutted the Fremen like animals. After that, the bandits all came crawling out of their holes. Now look at this place. It's packed. Oh, can't well leave these cutthroats to starve, can I? They're regulars. Besides, who'd be fool enough to take over this den of thieves from me? Spread slander like that and you best make peace with your tongue. Guess that's not illegal.
Day 5 surveillance report. Harkonnen hard target 42M. The facility maintains round-the-clock house shielding. The shield has dropped briefly on 2 occasions since the last report. In both cases, it was to facilitate the landing of courier-thopters. I understand that locating Captain Skorda is now my #1 priority, but so far, I've seen no one matching his description. I'm maintaining careful surveillance. Update. I must express my concerns about the tenability of this position. A few hours ago, I observed a hawk with binoculars, having a good hard look in this direction. Don't know if I made or not, but my relief is now overdue. We'll keep watch as long as possible. Atreides.
I'm pleased to see you again. I feared as much. But hand me that report and I'll make sure his sacrifice was not in vain. Let me have a look at that. I know Maxim's salivating for this report. You made the right choice. Trust is hard in this unscrupulous trade, but you've earned some goodwill. How did you... This is delicate information. Perhaps you have a gift for intelligence work after all. Our deceased agent was on the trail of Lieutenant Teague Skorda, a defector from the Atreides military. We're keeping it hush, since Leto intervened on Skorda's behalf a few years ago. I must find him before the Harkonnen do, to protect my Duke's honor. Those above may know more about what Skorda was up to, but such need-to-know information rarely trickles this far down the chain of command. What you are is a freelance asset. This insulates the both of us. It also gives you more freedom than someone serving in a more official capacity. As a deniable asset, no one knows your allegiance but me. You're as free or limited to move about as anyone else. Trust, you're not officially on the books. That means it's up to me, and me alone, to assess your worth and trustworthiness. Let's begin. Generally, I'm slow to trust. However, I have a good feeling about the way you comport yourself, and time is short. Given your background, I'm confident you wish to join our house in good faith. I'll not ask you to prove your sincerity with menial tasks. I'll give you an opportunity to demonstrate your mettle. Gangs of brutal slavers need a lesson taught to them the hard way. Take this. You'll need it. I look forward to hearing about your results. I never could stomach slavers.
You might have seen my little pyrotechnics display, Offworlder. But whether you did or not, the long and short of it is that I must go. And quickly. The Sardaukar have my scent, and the Emperor's hounds are not known for their mercy. I do not know when we will meet again. Let the desert teach you as you walk in the footsteps of the Fremen. Find allies. It is hard to survive without friends. And remember, Arrakis will sharpen your shoulder. Make sure you become the right kind of blade.
What is the purpose of thought? Ibn Qutayba. Speed is a device of Shaitan. Do you understand, Wali? Our God gave us the gift of thought, and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Knowledge without action is empty. Bila kaifa. Our wanderings brought us to Rostak. We were persecuted. Our families burned in the fires of their ignorance. We learn the cost of inaction. Never to forgive, never to forget. Some were sent to work in mines. The tunnels were unstable. Our work made them more so. We learned the cost of action. Never to forgive, never to forget. Not all action leads to desirable outcomes. Be wary of the ghafla, the distraction. Shaitan loves wasted effort. It was on Rosak that the Sayadina created the poison drug. Words became memories. Through thought and action combined, we learned to create. The weight of a kindly God is a fearful thing. Did not God give us Shaitan to force action? And where does action lead? Thought and action lead to creation. What is the purpose of thought? To honor the Creator. Remember Rosak. Bila Kaifa. What is the purpose of thought? To honor the Creator. Remember Rosak. Bila Kaifa.
What?
Where is my resources? Who's that?
Welcome to Imperial Desert Botanical Testing Station number 10. I am Dr. Silas Graylish, director of this facility. Our goal here at DBTS-10 is to find and develop flora which can flourish in the iron-rich soils of this corner of Arrakis. Our initial focus is the introduction of Velvetia, Ephedra, and Alloydendron species, which we deem the most likely adapters. But within these protective walls, we will also cultivate a variety of species from across the Imperium. The ultimate goal will be...
Who's that?
Shields up!
Mikhail, it's clear we need more people with mechanical expertise if we are to meet the quotas set by our new bosses. We have too many here who can't handle anything more complicated than Trigger. They can be our field men and our muscle, but we need skilled hands. So, you and I will need to do some recruiting. There are plenty like us who have chosen to leave the service of the great houses. We must find those among them with vehicle maintenance experience. That includes former Atreides troopers. Yes, I know. Bad blood. But we have more in common with Atreides deserters than we do with our old comrades. Anyone who can't see past old grudges won't have a place here.
Here are this week's notes from our market contacts. Working anti-dust filtration systems are in high demand in Erekine. Those from one-man ground cars are valuable, but larger units from sealed system ground cars and ornithopters will fetch the best prices. Stick to Chome's standard models, since custom fabricated units are becoming too easy to trace. The dealers won't touch them. Make sure our acquisition agents are aware of this. The market for scrap metal is nearly glutted because of competition from scavengers in the Hogger Basin. But there is still a strong market for copper, aluminum, and plasteel components. It'll be worth our effort to break down larger mechanisms to acquire those materials. Do not forget to pass on last week's tallies as soon as you have completed them. to our new friend, Ina Hiller. Late Innenberg Hiller of the Harkonnen House forces. The Turiel sends greetings. You may be surprised that we know your identity, but the hands of Turiel, whom I represent, know many things. For instance, we know that you and your band of deserters recently ousted a gang of vehicle thieves from one of the ancient testing stations in the Vermilius Gap. Congratulations. I am certain that the station will make a fine hiding place for former soldiers such as yourselves. But there is a small problem. You see, those thieves were in our employ. They acquired vehicles and broke them down before passing the components on to our brokers. Ordinarily, such a loss would earn you the enmity of my organization. Something I can assure you, you do not want. But, to be perfectly candid, our former agents were less efficient in their tasks than we had hoped. Therefore, I would like to propose a deal which I am certain both sides will find beneficial. You and your followers will take over the task of acquiring vehicles and breaking them down for us. If you meet agreed upon quotas, you are welcome to occupy our valuable property. I'm certain you can see the benefits of becoming our agents. If not, I'm also certain that your former employers would be happy to learn of your current whereabouts. I look forward to your timely reply.
You have been called by him, by Shai-Hulud, yet you live. This must also be of his will. Shai-Hulud has taken your soul and found in it no nourishment. Who starves God in his desert? Plain words, then. Pay attention. When the worm comes for you, he takes all that you have. Do not tempt Shai-Hulud. Fear him, or lose all. A fool with a great destiny who is destroyed by God is just a fool. Do you understand? Yes, except this once. Shai-Hulud is troubled by your hollow soul. He offers no mercy. What he takes is his. But I am here. I offer you this gift. Once and once only. Will you take this gift? A choice once made cannot be undone. Shai-Hulud will not allow such mercy again. Be careful. You have been warned.